So who are we then? Let's show you who we are and how we know. Look at this stuff. You see what we're showing you? On one side is the names that the nations called us. Look, right here. You see they call you an American black, a West Indian black, Haitians, Puerto Ricans. Those are all titles that was given to us. Those are all titles that was given to us after we were conquered and taken into slavery. We didn't choose those names. Those names were stamped on you. See what I'm saying? Like they branded you and tattooed you with that. That ain't a name that you was given from birth. That ain't a name you was given from God. This is the name we were given from God. The 12 tribes of Israel: Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Manasseh, Simeon, Zebulun, Gad, Reuben. That's all your family right there. And I'm gonna show you how we know. So, give me the book of Baruch 4 and 1. Listen to this. I'm gonna show you something, bro. Because a lot of our people think this the white man book. Do you think the Bible is the white man book? What color is God? Huh? Hey, I don't know is a good answer. I don't know is a good answer. You know why that's a good answer? Because they show us something else. But you can say, you know what, I don't know if I believe it. I don't know. That's a great answer. Our people, look, that's good to know. Not to think we know something that we ain't been proven, right? All right, read this. Baruch 4 and 1.
It's the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
This is the what?
This is the book of the commandments of God. And the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
So this book, the Bible, is the book of the commandments of God. God gave his commandments to one group of people. Who's that group of people that God gave his commandments to? Do you know? Let's see. Let's see the group of people that God gave his commandments to. Give me first Esdras. The children of Israel. He gave his commandments to the children of Israel. Psalm 147, verse 19 and 20. Listen to this. Listen to this. Psalm 147, 19 and 20. Listen to this, bro. We're going to show you who God gave his commandments in his book to. His Bible. Read.
The book of Psalms, chapter 147 and verse 19. He showed his word unto Jacob.
God showed his word, the book of the commandments, right, unto Jacob. That Jacob's name was changed to Israel. To him. Read.
His statutes and his statutes and his statutes and his judgments.
Statutes mean his laws and his judgments for breaking his laws, sister. Read.
Unto Israel.
Unto the children of Israel. Read.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
God didn't deal like that. He didn't give those laws to anybody else. He didn't give the commandments to any other people. So God's only dealing with one particular set of people. When you read the Bible, God is not all-inclusive. He's not everybody God. Contrary to popular belief, what you learn in churches on Sunday, they teaching our people wrong. We're trying to show our people directly from the Word of God what's the truth of the Bible. Give me John 8:32. How you doing, sister? What's your name, sis? Tina, how you doing? Sister Tina, Moses. What's going on, bro? What's your name? Lee? All right, Tina and Lee, check this out, Tina. Read this right here.
The book of John, chapter 8 and verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
So what's the truth of the Bible that's supposed to make us free? Who need to be freed over here in America today? Who need to be free? Who was brought here as prisoners and slaves? The Bible says you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So I ask you a question, Lee and Tina. Do you think that us as black people have learned the truth since we've been here in America, right? And you think the people have taught us the truth? Because the people that brought us here, right, they ain't treat us right? So if they don't treat you right, what make us think they're going to teach us right? Exactly, they're going to make us believe what they want us to believe. So what do they, what they want you to believe is that you nobody. What we're trying to get you to understand is you are God's chosen people, the 12 tribes of Israel. So we're going to show you Deuteronomy 29 and 1. Read. Deuteronomy 29 and 1. I'm finna get to the meat and potatoes on how we know that the so-called blacks, Hispanic, Native American men, the people that was took around the world in the slave trade, are God's chosen people, are the people of this book. We're gonna show you how we know that, based on the agreement that we made with our God. Deuteronomy 29 and 1.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 29 and verse 1. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel, in the land of Moab, beside the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. And Moses called unto all Israel and said unto them, Ye have seen all that the Lord did before your eyes in the land of Egypt unto Pharaoh, and unto all his servants, and unto all his land.
So what we're talking about is the children of Israel. Say it. Read it from the top again.
Verse 1. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel.
So what we're doing is showing you the words of the covenant. Sister Tina, what's a covenant? A bond or an agreement, right? Between two. These the words of the agreement, the covenant, or the contract that God made with who?
With the children of Israel in the land of Moab.
So this is the covenant that God made. Watch, what we finna read right now is the agreement that God made with his people. Deuteronomy 28:1. Now we finna show you the covenant. Because people talk about the new covenant, the old covenant. It's the same. Watch this. This is the covenant that God made with his people. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So God told his people that if you listen and do the commandments, that he would do what? Did you catch what he said? No. If God said, if you do, listen, read it again.
And it's
My bro, how you doing? What's going on? What's your name, bro? Huh? Jimmy, Tina, and Lee. Listen to what God is telling his people. He's telling Moses to tell his people. Listen.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So God said if his people listened and did his commandments, he would do what? Put them on high above all the people on the earth. God just said, I'm choosing you. Do what I say. You're going to be above everybody. Read.
And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee.
So God promised his people blessings. What type of blessings? Read.
If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, blessed shalt thou be in the city.
In every city your people will be blessed. Read.
And blessed shalt thou be in the field.
In every field, meaning when y'all get ready to do agriculture, grow anything, y'all will be blessed to have an abundance. Read.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body.
All your children will be blessed. Oh, that's the fruit of your body. Read.
And the fruit of thy ground.
And like I said, your substance, all your resources. Now, what's the flip side to the agreement? Because with every agreement or covenant or contract, there's terms and conditions, correct? Correct, Jimmy? All right, Tina, listen. Listen to the flip side of this. Check this out. Lee.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
But it shall come to pass. This is a prophecy. It's going to happen. It shall come to pass. Read.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments.
If you don't listen to do all his commandments, read.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
God said curses will come upon his people and will be overtaken with curses if they didn't keep the covenant, which was do the commandments. Commandments. What kind of curses do you think that God's people suffered because they didn't do the commandments? Do you think the Israelites kept God's agreement? Check me out. I'm showing you what we're teaching over here. Look at this sign right here, Jimmy. Look. Do you think that God's people kept his commandments? And if they didn't, what type of curses came upon them?
It's a rhetorical question, or?
No, I want you to answer. I want you to think of it.
Okay, I got to knock out real quick, but I guess what you're stating, like, we're in poverty, still dealing with situations, family issues, and everything else tied with
all the above. I'm finna show you this in the Bible. So, let me get to you, since you said you're finna get ready to leave right quick. Lee, hang out. Alright? Let me ask you a question now. This ain't a rhetorical question. I want you to answer. This is 4th grade social studies right here. How did the so-called Negro get to the shores of America? How did we come here as a people?
Stated.
Stated or elsewhere?
Europeans have purchased us for labor.
The Europeans purchased us for labor, but we got here, right? How we were where? Another hemisphere, right?
Correct.
And they brought us here.
Yes.
How so?
they say other people in our culture have helped them to
I'm saying method of transportation.
do boats.
All right. Let's get this in the scripture. Because God said curses will come upon his people for disobeying and not keeping the covenant. Now, this is an agreement that a certain group of people made with the Creator. How did the Creator punish you for breaking a contract? Let's see. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 68. We're in the same chapter. We're reading the last verse, which is the last curse that God said will come upon his people if they did not keep the covenant. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So, he's talking to the Israelites. Are you familiar with the Israelites being in Egypt, serving slavery for 400 years in Egypt? You familiar with that? You know the story of Moses going to Egypt, telling Pharaoh to let my people go. What are they doing? Making brick, hard bondage. So the Israelites were in slavery in Egypt. Now, read it again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Thee is the Israelites. God said, Moses is telling the Israelites, the Lord shall bring you into Egypt again. Now, at this time he's reading this to them or talking this to them, he's already delivered them out of Egypt. They walked through the Red Sea. They're on the other side free now. He said, if you don't keep this agreement that you're making with God, he's going to take you into Egypt again. So what does Egypt mean to a people that's been there for 400 years as slaves? If I say, you've been locked up in 201 Poplar for 15 years, I ain't got to say I'm going to take you to prison. I can say, boy, you're going back to 201 if you don't do this. What that mean to you? Going straight back to where? The same condition you was in. So let's see in the Bible what this actually, what God refers to Egypt as. Read. The book of Exodus. In the book of Exodus, they exited out of Egypt, right? Read it.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Egypt is the house of bondage, so far as God is concerned. The house of bondage for his people, for the Israelites. That was where? They were in slavery 400 years. That was the house of bondage. Slavery. Bondage means slavery. So now, let's go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 60. We're going here to describe, watch this, read this. Listen to this. So, remember, this is one of the punishments that happened to the Israelites. And now you put the pieces together. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Into Egypt, bondage, the house of bondage again.
With ships.
That was a prophecy. With what?
With ships.
That the Israelites would go into slavery again with ships. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
So now, our people were never supposed to see that slavery in Egypt again, and they never went back into Egypt as slaves. But the Israelites ended up somewhere else in slavery. But this were somewhere else. They had to go there by way of ship. Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again. And there, ye
there, when you get there, off of the ships where you are taken to,
ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
Sold unto your who?
Unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
Now, does that sound familiar to you? So now God's talking to the children of Israel and telling them, you are under this covenant and a perpetual covenant with me forever. Generations and generations after this stuff is going to happen to you. So now why are we reading the curses that God said will come upon his people? Read verse 46 in Deuteronomy. Because God told us what this covenant, you will be able to identify his people by the agreement that they made with him. Read.
Verse 46, and
they meaning the curses that God said will come upon his people, they
shall be upon thee,
shall be upon you, thee,
for a sign and for a wonder.
Now for a sign and a wonder. A sign is like that Marathon over there. I know it's the Marathon gas station. I know it's the Valero because of what I'm looking at. The sign. Read. So the curses will be on you for what?
For a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Your seed is your children after you. And upon thy seed forever.
We used to scream black power. while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.